Hey guys, it is WaitingSpy, and I think it's about time I did another anime review video. I really enjoyed making my last anime openings ranking video, so I figured before I do my first full review of an anime, which will be up soon, I'll do something similar to that. 2020 is finally coming to a close after what seems like forever, and I guess it hasn't been all bad for the weeps, because there have been some absolutely phenomenal anime openings this year. So today, I'm bringing you guys my top 5 anime openings of 2020. Okay, before we start the video, I'd just like to reiterate the rules that I use for these rankings. There's not a lot, but just as a reminder, I'm only using openings from anime that I've actually watched because I don't watch openings before anime. Also, I'm only going to be using one opening per series, which works out pretty well because 2 of the shows on today's list only have one opening to use in the first place. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the stuff you all came here to see. Kicking things off with number 5, we have Attack on Titan Opening 6, My War. This opening is certainly an interesting one. It's definitely not bad, otherwise I wouldn't have put it on this list, but it's also not the best. Let's start with the positives. The thing that makes the visual so intriguing and great is the amount of contrast in the opening. The overall colorlessness of the main opening combined with the bright and chaotic colors of all the explosions looks great, and it kinda reminds me how the different versions of Black Catcher are mainly set apart by their color schemes. To me, the music kinda sounds like some sort of Russian war propaganda music, which all things considered is very fitting with Season 4 as there's a huge war going on. At least, I think there is. The time skip is very confusing. Now, the things that make this opening the worst on the list isn't that it's bad, but the main thing is the lack of action. Yes, there's an abundance of colorful explosions and things being smashed, but chaos doesn't equal action. I was expecting something similar to the good old days where the openings were basically fight scenes in and of themselves, but no. We got some opening with literally no characters in it and a 9-year time skip with no explanation. Yes, this opening is amazing and I have high hopes for Season 4, but this opening just doesn't live up to the expectations of the other Attack on Titan openings. In the number 4 spot, we have the God of High School Opening 1, Contradiction. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, the real reason this one isn't higher up on the list is because I can't stand dubstep. It's absolutely horrible. Well, now that we've got the one negative out of the way, let's get into what makes this opening so amazing. I love how the whole aesthetic of this opening is centered around being overly technological and modern. That's normally something that I hate in an opening as they can never pull it off right, but this one manages to do it well. Although I hate dubstep, the visuals really do fit with the music and I have to commend them for that. These specific shots at the start kind of remind me of the Hunter x Hunter opening, which is amazing, and the wide range of colors reminds me a lot of Bloody Stream, which, if you didn't know, is my favorite anime opening. It does everything that a first opening should do. It hints at the heavy fighting aspect of the anime, it shows off a huge selection of the cast, and while it's very unique, it's not overly complicated. The animation of the show is absolutely beautiful, and although they reused a lot of animation from the actual show, they somewhat transformed it and made it fit with the aesthetic of the opening. It shows the scene of Mori, Dewi, and Mira meeting for the first time, which was one of the incredible scenes that made me love this anime, and there's a few subtle hints that there's something suspicious going on behind the scenes of the tournament. This opening is like none I've ever seen before, and that's ultimately why it's my number 4 choice for this year. And now for my number 3 pick of this year, we have My Hero Academia Opening 7, Star Marker. This opening is so perfect for the arc that it was made for. The school festival arc is really chill, with the only conflict being against Gentle Criminal, which only lasted like 2 episodes. The opening uses such a wide range of colors and the music is so high energy and happy. I was really happy to see Jira get the spotlight in this opening too, as she is one of my favorite characters. There are also quite a few references to important scenes in this arc as well, like when Endeavor promises to be a better father to Todoroki, Deku on his way to the shops before his encounter with Gentle Criminal, Endeavor on Hawks at the restaurant during the Nomu attack, Todoroki and Bakugo with the provisional license training. I could go on and on, but I think I've made my point. I also notice how the spaces for the credits are always in the shape of something from the previous shot. For example, Ayama's teacup, the window of the cafe, Jira's guitar case, and even the cloud from the shot with Todoroki. The attention to detail in this opening is one of the things that makes it so amazing, and the bright colors and patterns in the backgrounds kind of remind me of JoJo when the color scheme just changes completely. So while it's not the best of this year, it definitely deserves this spot. Now, these next 2 openings were very hard to decide between as they are both amazing, but after thinking long and hard, I can announce that my runner-up for this year is Jujutsu Kaisen Opening 1, Kai Kai Katan. After starting in mid-September this year, Jujutsu Kaisen has already stepped into the spotlight. I've only watched the first 3 episodes myself, but I can already kind of see why it's so popular in the anime community. It's a really interesting concept and I have high hopes for the rest of the series, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. Jujutsu Kaisen hasn't even been out for 3 months yet, and Kai Kai Katan has already become iconic within the anime community. It's so high energy and the chorus is just so extremely catchy, and while the vocals aren't exactly the best I've ever heard, they're still amazing, and the sheer amount of musical talent this man has is incredible. Anyway, although the music is amazing, the opening wouldn't be as great as it is without the animation. The animation in this opening is so smooth, and although the aesthetic isn't really unique and special like in the other openings on this list, a first opening should always be pretty simple anyway. It shows off a unique cast of characters, all presumably with their own unique cast powers, but it doesn't go too much into depth about what's going on, which will just make people want to watch it more. As for attention to detail, I can't really say a lot as I'm not too familiar with the story, but there are a couple of scenes that show that Itadori is ultimately just fighting to become his own worst enemy, and I guess this scene shows that even though Gojo wears a blindfold, he still oversees everything. It's hard to try and find symbolism and stuff, and I've only seen the first 3 episodes. But even without it, this opening is still amazing, and I can see why Jujutsu Kaisen has gained so much popularity so quickly. I know I've already said a lot about this opening, but now I'm going to let my good friend Killer Quez give his opinion on why it's so great.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and simps. I'm back in WaitingSpy's basement to once again leech on this man's content. I'm sucking this man's content. I'm most of the work in this spy's video. Deep throating his channel. Yeah. I'm just deep throating his channel. As if it was a Pop-Tart. However. Yeah, like a Pop-Tart, you know. Okay, shut up, boy, shut up. I'm gonna speak. Before I derail on why I should swipe this man's channel as if I was a fox from Dora the Explorer. If I could, I would Twitch donate all my money to this opening. My God, my Jesus. Ooh, to be honest, I've watched the opening before the anime, so I guess I was. You can guess how confused I was while watching it. But this opening, it single-handedly convinced me to watch Juju Cat something. You can put like Siri's voice in there or something. Now I can't exactly remember, but I just remember on a kitchen counter, like enjoying some Wheaties. Like damn, I was like crunching like some dinosaur. Into my YouTube recommend. And for some reason, my little pinky finger just decided to just like tap on it, tap, and my eyes was actually not mentally ready. Like my eyes, the brain in my eye, it blew up. I couldn't handle everything that was happening. And don't get me started on the Kung Fu Panda casually hopping on buildings like Mario, and the music. Oh. No. Sounds so good. It's like winning the lottery when I accidentally clicked on this. So of course, like my final ratings of this, the animation 0 out of 10. Like bitch rubbish. However, because of that Jack Black reference having a cameo parkouring on buildings. So, if you do the math right, the opening is 30 out of 30. Anyways, my children in the basement is kind of yelling, and I kind of need to shut them the hell up. But the quiz, and I'll probably be back for a Among Us video if he's actually bothered. But yeah, I'll be back. Maybe. So this is Killer Quiz. Bye.
Okay. Right. Your Wi-Fi's trash, by the way. Now, before I show you guys my number 1 pick for this year, I figured an honourable mention is required for such an honourable opening. Sadly, there's no place on it for this list, but my honourable mention today goes to Black Clover Opening 12, Everlasting Shine. I don't want to spend too long talking about this opening, as technically it's not on the list, but I will say a few words about it. The animation in this opening may be better than any opening I've seen all year, except for maybe Jujutsu Kaisen. The music in this is absolutely beautiful, and it was very well received by a lot of fans of Tomorrow X Together as well. One thing that I will say against this opening is that I really don't like how they spent so long hyping up the battle between the captains when it literally lasted for one episode and it meant nothing in the story. Anyway, I just wanted to include this because I love this opening so much. And now, it's time to reveal my #1 anime opening from 2020. A few of you may have seen this one coming, but my top pick from 2020 is Black Clover Opening 10, Black Catcher. If you couldn't already tell, I like openings that have a lot of attention to detail and hidden spoilers that you could only understand after watching the show. And Black Catcher does just that. The opening starts with Nero flying around, with the battle between the first Wizard King and Licht happening in the background. The heavy rain and lack of colour just shows how defeated the Clover Kingdom is, as well as the elves. There's this shot of Patali trying to come to terms with his sins and being forgiven by Licht. During this shot, nobody is seen together to emphasise just how lonely everyone is feeling at this point in the story. But once Nero brings back the first Wizard King, the rain stops and people are shown together trying to fight back against Zagrod. I think it's also cool how the only colour present in the opening is the red in the eyes of the forbidden magic users. The main strength of the opening, as with a lot of the Black Clover openings, is definitely the song. It is once again performed by an artist with immense talent, Vika Blanca. He has performed 2 of the openings for Black Clover already, but the thing that I find the most insane about his songs is his vocal range. He can go from singing relatively low to extremely high, and that's something that not a lot of male singers can do. I guess it's kind of embarrassing to admit that he was also my #2 artist on my Spotify Wrapped. Black Clover is notorious for the animation being not necessarily bad, but just very inconsistent. But when it comes to the openings, they never seem to miss. The animation in the openings is just so much better than it is in most of the actual episodes. This opening just about made the cut for being a 2020 opening, as it was released on the 7th of January. It's crazy to think that Black Clover has 4 openings every year and not one of them fails to amaze me. Anyway, that's my top 5 openings for 2020. This year has really been a great one for anime as a whole, and I can't wait to see what's next. If you enjoyed this video and you're new here, why not leave a like and subscribe? I'll be reviewing Black Clover soon, so if you'd like to see that, you should probably stick around. If you have any suggestions for an anime that I should watch and review on this channel, tell me in the comments below. I really love hearing your feedback. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.